Has been following them all night. So, Tom, how's it looking out there right now?
Well, here at the Trump Hotel, Allison, things very quiet at the moment. However, a while ago, we saw a big group of protesters walk this way, and I'm being told that they apparently are shutting down the 3rd Street tunnel right now. So that's going on, as you said, protests for the 3rd straight night. But we're also hearing some growing criticism of these protesters. For the 3rd straight night, protesters hit the Trump Hotel and the White House.
This is a really great moment, I think, for people to come together in love rather than hatred like Donald Trump has.
A small group of Trump supporters came out too, but it was difficult for us to interview one.
They're making my case. And
as a group kept blaring their radio and screaming obscenities as we tried to do the interview with him.
Donald Trump! Can you at least be an adult about it? It's like Hillary conceded the race like a grown-up. So should you.
We're here to bring peace.
Another anti-Trump protester we talked to said trying to drown out Trump supporters is not the way to go.
Going forward, we're all on the same team, as President Obama said. We are all one country.
And back here live at the new Trump Hotel, it looks like we may see protesters here again tomorrow, and also at the White House. They were making plans to reunite and march again tomorrow. And again, right now, they're still marching, shutting down the 3rd Street Tunnel, I'm being told. Reporting live in Northwest, I'm Tom Rousey, ABC 7 News.
Okay, Tom, thank you. Meanwhile, in Tacoma Park, it was a rally for unity and for peace. Dozens of people in the Muslim community gathered to acknowledge the election season, created a division in our country, but it's one that they say needs to stop now. Annalisa Gale, live in our newsroom tonight with more. Annalisa.
Allison, the peaceful gathering in front of Piney Branch Elementary School attracted mostly those who voted for Hillary Clinton. They say it was a way for them to begin the healing process after a brutal election season.
As President-elect Donald Trump begins his transition to the White House, nearly 200 Tacoma Park residents joined hands.
The Muslim American community is anxious, and I think that it's going to be tough to know kind of what's going to come out of it all.
The statement from Trump last December is one that many Muslim Americans will never forget.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States.
I think there's a lot of fear because we're just not sure what's happening in the next couple of months, couple of years.
We can resist the hatred that has been exhibited in the last presidential campaign. We can resist it, but even the best way to do that is by showing our care and our love for one another.
It's been a really tough few days. Certainly as Muslim Americans, we were very invested in the election. And, it was there was so much divisive rhetoric. It was really nice to have this event.
And while the election results may have divided the nation, organizers like Seth Grimes called for unity in the days ahead. Looking into the crowd, Dania Ayubi saw a glimmer of hope.
It really makes me feel hopeful for the future to know that there are people out here that care.
And today, Donald Trump tweeted this about a recent protest. He says, "Love the fact that the small groups of protesters last night have passion for our great country. We will all come together and be proud." He also said recently that he will soon be making some very important decisions on the people who will be running our government. In the newsroom, Annalisa Gale, ABC 7 News.
All right, Annalisa, thank you. Strong words tonight about Donald Trump from the CEO of Grubhub. In an email to more than 1,000 employees, Matt Maloney suggested if they agree with Trump's rhetoric, then they should quit. In a statement after the fact, Maloney said that he didn't ask anybody to resign, but he said that the company would not tolerate discriminatory activity of hateful commentary in the workplace. Now, we know there is a lot of anger in the country over the election. Half the country is very happy, the other half not so much. But it may be because some of the anger at least focused on what happened Tuesday, or maybe what didn't happen. Because voter turnout this year dipped to nearly its lowest point in 2 decades, according to the latest tallies. Election officials are still tabulating ballots, but right now it appears 55% of voting-aged citizens cast ballots this year. So that means just half. Full measure of turnout won't be clear for as long as maybe several more weeks because election officials still need to finish counting and certifying all of the results.
Well, the protests and rallies are happening as President-elect Donald Trump finalizes his transition team. That team now is being led by Vice President-elect Mike Pence. New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani, they are now the vice chairs. Both men's names also circulating as potential attorney general candidates.
The number one characteristic that Donald Trump is looking for is loyalty. It's something that we saw over and over in the campaign, and he also wants to have a personal relationship with whoever he chooses.
In the search for a chief of staff, names on the list include Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, his campaign CEO, Steve Bannon of Breitbart News, and RNC chairman Reince Priebus.
Well, there's some new developments to tell you about what happened out of Stafford County. That is where police tell us that an arrest has been made in connection with that hours-long rape of a woman that was just hit in a car. There was an accident and she was dragged from it. Roberto Cibrian was arrested at a construction site in Sanford, North Carolina, charged with rape.